Hey everybody, I'm Brian Sparks, editor of Greenhouse Grower, back in the studio today with Dr. A. Alan Armitage. How are you today, Alan?
I'm very well, Brian. Very well indeed.
Very good, very good. Well, we are only about a couple of months away from the 2026 California Spring Trials, and the National Garden Bureau has been doing something really interesting on LinkedIn lately, where they've asked past attendees to share some of their favorite memories over the years. Everybody who's been to cast has some memory that they can look back on, whether it's a travel tale of horror that we all experience, whether it's new plant, whether it's just an overall experience. I know last year for me was my first time at California Spring Trials, so I think my memory was just being blown away every time I walked into a new facility and tried to figure out where should my eyes go first, because there were so many things surrounding me at the same place. You've been to cast several times over the years, so just thinking about it quickly, what are a couple of the biggest memories that jump out at you from past experiences at California Spring Trials?
Oh, Brian, what a question! And it's certainly you worded it in that I've been to cast a few times over the years. I've been to cast, I can't tell you how many times. I've been very fortunate because just like you said yourself, your first time it blew you away. I think if anybody has a chance to get to cast and has not done it, boy, it just does blow you away. So, and I'm still blown away. Truly, I still every time I go, I'm a little kid in the candy store. But thinking back about some of these things, we've all had, and I've got most of on are, well, if I can do three quickies,
Yeah.
one is when some of the breeding I saw. When I first saw the first breeding ever of taking a zonal geranium and breeding it with an ivy geranium.
Okay.
I thought that was really, really, and that's a 10, I don't know how old that is. And I thought that was spectacular, only because if you know enough about each one of those ivies and zonals, they have properties that if you could combine them, they might be good. And they have, of course, been
Yeah.
spectacular in the landscape.
Mhm.
And so I remember that one is, and the breeding, of course, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
See these sunflowers like last year, oh my God. And you see all these kind of cool things, but that's one I do truly comes to mind right away. Speaking of breeding at Cast, there's a whole, I say, gossip mill of, so people go to this place before you do, and you say, "Oh, what'd you see?" And people are wondering, asking you, "Is there anything good coming up at such and such a place?" And you hear about these things. So I'm in the car, and we're traveling to. This is again many years ago.
Yeah.
This is when I think the Paul Leckey Corporation was still doing we're part of CAS. It was way down in Encinitas, California. We were traveling a zillion miles, I swear, but we won't go there. And the rumor mill was saying that they had bred a black poinsettia and they were going to show it at the show, a
Yeah.
black poinsettia. And I can't remember who it was, but we were there and looking at each other. I was like, God, how the hell would you do that? I mean, I don't know if there's any black poinsettias in nature. Where do you get the genes? So, and this is going all around. Anyway, it turned out that a cast was in early April.
Mhm.
And it was an April Fool's joke that
Uh,
the corporation had done. It was fabulous. I mean, we were all looking, we were all talking. It was April Fool's. And of course, what they'd done, they spray painted some poinsettias with black paint. But those are the kind of things that made cast even more special. But,
yeah.
and then the last one is just like, I think everybody, this is, and again, I sound like an old man just talking about stories back in yesteryear, but, and those of us who have been doing this for a while know very well that getting to some of these greenhouses
Mhm.
before GPS
Yeah. Oh gosh.
was quite the challenge. I mean, these greenhouses, once you get there, they seem like they're located in a pretty cool area, but they're in the middle of nowhere half the time. You and I have been just last year, we got lost at least three times and
Yeah.
we had a GPS. And so I remember, I think I was traveling with Delilah, one of the former editors. She's just fabulous. But her driving skills were not her forte. And we just kept turning left where we went. And eventually we got to these places. But I swear it was that, just the getting to these places, that was part of, I wouldn't even say it was part of the fun. It was part of the adventure, part of the journey. So
Yeah.
those are the kind of things that I remember. And I remember so many of these things so fondly. The first time I was in one of these one of these uh, breeders,
Yeah.
greenhouse. They're doing a big job. Or it was probably Paul or somebody, some huge place. And I went into the porta potties, and they had wood paneling, and they had music and this is the coolest porta potty I've ever been in. And those are the kind of things you remember about how cool Cast is. And of course,
Yeah.
flowers, breeding, everything notwithstanding, the people are spectacularly wonderful. They're always trying to, show what they're doing. But I think my experiences have been like a little kid. I'm still a little kid, and I remember the little kid stories.
Well, and you use the word experiencer, and I think that says it all right there. A cast isn't necessarily just about the plant; it's also about the experience, and
Yeah,
what
the
you can take
experience,
home
the
with you.
journey to people, and hopefully everybody is, they're all there for a reason. And sometimes it's like, I hope that your knee surgeon is not getting tired of doing knees, but you hope that everybody there is not getting tired of what they do, and everybody who travels, because you can't get, oh, another petunia, oh, another geranium. But the truthfully is that that other petunia or other geranium has had a long journey itself getting to
Yep.
where it is today. So, oh, that's part of the journey.
Well, and I remember going from site to site with you last year. That's one of the things that stood out to me as we were talking about it was, as somebody who's been there for many years, it takes a lot to wow you. So I was always looking for the chances or the times when we would walk through a greenhouse and you'd walk past something and you'd stop, you'd back up and you'd turn your head. And that's when I knew that's truly special because it caught Dr. A's eye while we were there.
And then you look around, and one of the people immediately come talk to you, right?
Yep. Yep.
What did you see? What did you
Exactly.
That's all kind of cool.
Exactly. Well, for anybody who's watching this, you can go to California Spring Trials website, which is caspringtrials.us to learn more about it and to register. Like you said, Alan, it's a great chance for anybody who loves plants in this industry to go and check out what's new. So looking forward to it again this year.
And even though I don't know how many days there are now, not that many, but even you get there for a couple of days. I know it's a long trip for people. Just pick and choose a couple, 2, 3 places, and
Yeah.
maybe then it just is a terrible time of year for so many people.
Yeah.
If you can do it, do your best. But life goes on if you can't. But we'll keep telling stories, Brian, so people who don't go can travel through us.
Absolutely. Well, and we should point out too that the gas used to be a much longer experience. They've really tightened the schedule down to where you can really see the whole thing in just a few days if you commit to a firm schedule, knowing where you want to go. But as everybody else, we're looking forward to seeing what's new this year. So thanks for joining me again, Alan, to talk more about that today.
Good fun. Thanks, Brian.